files have IntelliSense baked in already. It uses the TypeScript language service. But let's say, for example, maybe you're working with, say, some Jquery, and you can see right off the bat there, I've got little green squigglies underneath the dollar signs, which is what calls my Jquery function. When I click on that, I get the little light bulb. And I've got the default options there of either marking it as global, which I don't really want to do. But the thing I want to show is I can download type definition jquery.d.ts. This will automatically go and get this typings file. And I get the little status bar message that says, yes, I've got that typings file now. So if I go look in typings, there's Jquery, which should automatically give me support for Jquery, and you can see the little green squigglies have gone away. But if I say I want to call into document, then I'm going to get document.ready. So I've got a lot better IntelliSense for Jquery once I get that typings file. And there's quite a variety of those available that are out there, and that just gives you a little bit more robust IntelliSense support for whatever language it is we might be working in. JavaScript in Visual Studio Code also supports the concept of snippets. Different languages are going to have different support for snippets. So if I need to, say, put a references snippet up at the top here, there's my reference path. So anytime you're typing in here and you see that little, we used to call it a torn page icon, whatever the heck that icon is now, that's when you know you've got a snippet available. Now, JavaScript in Visual Studio Code also supports the concept of defining a project, which can keep you from having to pollute your code with a lot of those references at the top of your file. But if you need it, that snippet is there. And just other common things like a for each loop, for example. Don't know that I put that right there, but there's the snippet. Common things like if else or try. Anytime you see that torn page icon there, the try catch, then you can add that in easily through the snippet, and typically there's replaceable parameters in there so that you don't necessarily have to do everything all on your own. For example, error there is replaceable. So I can use those snippets. Now let's talk about this concept of a JavaScript project. And what we can do to make that happen is I'm just going to create a new file, and here, as in many cases in Visual Studio Code, the name is important, and I'm going to call it jsconfig.json. Starts out as empty, but what that allows me to do is configure both compiler options and the files that I want to be part of the project. So I'm going to just start out here with the brackets, and since I've got IntelliSense, it tells me I can create compiler options right off the bat. So I'm going to target ES6 for this particular project, and if I can get to the next line here, I should be able to put in, there you go, and I'll leave module as common.js. When I want to decide what files I want to be part of it, that can be an array. So anything I want to include, I'm going to put the file name in here. So I've got jQuery 171 as part of this right now. And I could just keep going on through there and decide what I want to include as part of the project. Again, that just gives me some convenience as far as not having to put that references line at the top of all my scripts. If you want to configure the way JavaScript works in your environment, you can go in and take a look at your user settings file, and I'll just do Control F to bring up the find, and you can be able to browse through all these JavaScript options. So remember, any of those that you want to change, do that in your custom user settings or workspace settings files to change the way JavaScript shows up at design time for you.